Most people don't stay poor because they're unlucky. They stay poor because they keep repeating one quiet mental habit and they defend it like it's their identity. If you're anxious about money, the future, retirement, or whether you waited too long, this is probably going to feel uncomfortable. Good, because comfort is usually where the damage starts. Set up the pain and stakes. I've spent my life around extreme outcomes. Massive success, near total failure, bankruptcy level stress, and I've noticed something strange. The gap between people who escape financial anxiety and people who stay trapped is rarely intelligence. It's not education. It's not even opportunity. It's how they think when they feel uncertain. Most people, especially as they get older, develop a habit of outsourcing their thinking. They wait. They defer. They ask permission from systems that don't care about them. And then they call it being responsible. I know this because I've watched smart, capable people slowly talk themselves into financial paralysis. And once you're stuck there long enough, you start mistaking fear for wisdom, reframe and big promise. Here's what I learned the hard way through failures that nearly wiped me out. There's one mental habit that quietly keeps people poor, not just in money, but in options, energy, and time. By the end of this video, you'll understand what that habit is, why it feels rational but destroys momentum, and how to replace it with something simpler, calmer, and far more effective. This isn't motivation. It's a mental upgrade. Main content. Lesson 1. Waiting for permission is financial suicide. The habit is simple. Waiting for permission to act. Permission from the market, from your family, from experts, from the economy, from your age. Early on, I realized something uncomfortable. No one is coming to approve your decisions. There is no moment when the world says, now it's safe. When I started companies, there were no guarantees, no validation, just a messy pile of incomplete information. Most people freeze there. They don't fail, they stall for years. Practical takeaway. Stop asking, is this allowed? Start asking, what's the smallest step I can test without destroying myself? Movement beats permission. Lesson 2. Comfort feels responsible until it isn't. Comfort is sneaky. It disguises itself as maturity. You settle into routines, predictable income, familiar fears. It feels controlled, but comfort slowly erodes urgency, and urgency is what forces clear thinking. Some of my hardest decisions came when I was under pressure. Not because I liked stress, but because pressure removes nonsense. Comfort lets bad assumptions live rent-free in your mind. Practical takeaway. Add intentional discomfort. Learn something new. Build something small. Question 1. Long-held assumption about money this month. Stagnation is expensive. Lesson 3. Most people don't think they react. Here's something people don't like hearing. Most adults do not actually think independently about money. They react to news. They imitate friends. They follow headlines designed to scare them. I had to relearn thinking from first principles, reducing problems to what actually matters. When money decisions are emotional, outcomes get sloppy. Practical takeaway. Before any financial decision, ask, what do I actually know? What is noise? What matters long-term, not emotionally? Clarity compounds faster than money. Lesson 4. Pride is the most expensive liability. This one hurts. People hold on to bad financial situations not because they're impossible to fix, but because fixing them requires admitting change. I've had to abandon ideas I loved, directions I defended publicly. It's brutal, but pride is heavier than failure. If you can't adapt, age becomes a liability instead of an advantage. Practical takeaway. Detach identity from outcomes. Change direction faster when evidence changes. Adaptation is wealth. Myth-busting segment. You've been told saving more is the answer. That's wrong. Saving matters, but thinking correctly matters more. You've been told risk is irresponsible. Wrong. Blind risk is foolish. Calculated risk is how progress works. You've been told it's too late. That's an excuse disguised as realism. The most dangerous myth, that doing nothing is safe. It isn't. It's just quiet. Here's a simple framework I use mentally. Stop, think, test, adapt. Stop outsourcing decisions. Think from fundamentals. Test small, reversible actions. Adapt without ego. That's it. Simple. Hard. Effective. Let me leave you with this. Wealth isn't about being right all the time. It's about not being frozen by fear when things are uncertain. The habit that keeps people poor isn't stupidity. It's passivity disguised as caution. Break that habit and your future opens up. If you want more of my hard-earned lessons without the sugarcoating, subscribe and don't miss the next one.